fans, let's get into Dragula. And let's give a shout out, child. If y'all haven't seen it, sorry, spoiler alert. But let's give a huge congratulations to Asia Consent, who became the first Black trans woman to be crowned the sixth drag supermonster. Now, when I watched this episode, was it the only one that gagged when I didn't realize that Asia Consent was Black? Because I knew like she had to have a little something. Like she looked white. She is very much white presenting, but there are some features up in here where it's like, okay, we could definitely see that you have some woman of color isms up in you. But I never thought that she would have said she was half Black. But I was actually glad that she won. I mean, I like Asia Consent, but I also, I like Grey Matter, Auntie M, and Auntie Ann, and Auntie Ann. I was like, but I like, first of all, Grey Matter, no shade, was the trade of the season. I was like, oh, he cute. But I'm glad Asia Consent won. To be honest, any of the three could have won, and I would have been okay with it. But overall, I'm not shocked or surprised that Asia won. I know, like, but then people gonna say, okay, at what point are we gonna have a cis male or whatever win the show? And it always, because every time I turn around, y'all giving it to the trans girls. But I'm like, because we had Landon Cider, then we had oh my god, I forgot the Asian chick name that won last season, and now we have this year Asia. But I'm like, look, y'all need to step y'all pussy up. If y'all want to win, it's not always about, well, because the person is trans, and we have to just keep giving it to them. But anyway, so according to Peak News, they had this story. Shout out to them. So Asia Consent has been crowned the winner of Dragula season 6, snatching the blood-soaked trophy in an equally blood-soaked finale. Oh yeah, I do love at the end whenever you win. It's like they had the sparks. I don't know if they do it like RuPaul's Drag Race, where they film it 3 times and then they all get like the carry treatment, which is like, you have like the sparks coming out in the background. Like, oh, excuse me, that you're the winner. And then you step up to the thing and now prance, whatever, whatever. And then the blood comes down very carry style. I don't know if they do that to all of them, but I'm like, that would be epic if they did it to all three of them in regards to doing the show. Or they just already made the decision back then and that's what it was. But nevertheless, I thoroughly enjoyed the show this season. But anyway, so they said that for the last task of the season, the 3 remaining monsters, Auntie Heroine, Asia Consent, and Grey Matter, were challenged to summon forth the most depraved fantasies with 3 looks embodying the tenets of the franchise, which would be filth, horror, and glamour. Now, I will say this. Out of all the horror stuff, I will say Asia gave it to me in all 3. I loved her glamour look, but I also loved the filth. Filth is like, see, this is why I love alternative drag, but I'll tell you, I would never do Dragula because I cannot be doing I'm not eating nothing out no toilet. I know it's all like performative and it's not like you're really pulling the divine and you're actually eating poop like they were assimilating in the movie and in the show. So they do all this other stuff because it's all performance. But I couldn't get gross like that. I could do like horror glam, stuff and makeup and if I was to ever do drag, I would do this type of drag. This would be like more or less up my alley. That's why I love Dragula more than I watch Drag Race because it's RuPaul. But for the most part, Dragula is more or less up my alley because my mind is very much twisted into horror and more alternative in that way. So, um, I did like the idea what they did where they had the 3 looks. But I actually like Auntie Heroine, to be honest. I think Heroine was cute, but I definitely like Grey Matter stuff more, and I definitely loved Asia Consent. That's why I was just like, it was something about Asia Consent is just she was just like a good queen, in regards to like competitor this season. So I'm not surprised that she won. Now they said the Boulets also dropped in a few extras while with the title of winner, $100,000, which is 79,000 pounds. No, the Brit kind of coin. A lifetime. I wonder how much is 25,000 pounds. British people, if y'all on the line, because how much is oh wait, it's 25,000 pounds, 25,000 pounds. But how much would that be in US dollars in regards of with UK because Drag Race UK, they finally started giving them money over there. So I was wondering like how much is that? Or maybe I should ask how much is that in US dollars. Because if $100,000 is 79 pounds, how much is 25,000 pounds in US dollars? Yeah, in the chat. About my UK people up in here. So it's a lifetime of special effects makeup from Ben Nye and a merch development deal with PEG. Now shout out to PEG because I've been to these I actually haven't been to their new studio, but I've been to their old stomping ground. When I first moved to LA, like I went to PEG and they have a lot of clients, Alaska and there's a lot of queens from Drag Race who are part of PEG. And so now we got a Dragula girl up in there. So now the trio walked the three categories with Asia presenting a feces-covered filth look, a possessed and distraught diva for her horror turn, and a skeleton-encased gown for glamour. Yeah, I like that. I like the glamour look the most out of all of them. But the filth look was gross. And then she was eating out of the toilet. And though Gray and Auntie similarly ate the runways to varying degrees, Asia was announced as the first Black trans winner of the show. Asia from Portland, Oregon, then took part in the customary Dragula winners tradition, getting a bucket of blood dropped on her head a la Carrie. Now, she landed in the bottom once and won 3 challenges during her run, including in the season premiere and final competitive episode, the most of the final trio. And so I will say this, the one thing I definitely loved about the last extermination before the finale was Yuri's extermination, who was actually, speaking of Drag Race, she was from Drag Race Down Under. And then we had James Majesty Quit, who's known by Majesty, and Drag Race Down Under. Like I said, Yuri. I loved their extermination. How they got on the plane in New Zealand, and then the plane blew up. So it was like showing them, they packed up their stuff, very much like Drag Race. They got on the plane, and also the mask, and then all of a sudden the plane blows up, so everybody died. It was very Final Destination. So I actually loved that extermination. I think out of all the exterminations, that was the funniest. But I was wondering, are they going to do like a reunion type thing? I actually hope they don't. And the only reason why I hope that they don't do a reunion is because I felt that a lot of the drama on the show was created. I felt like it was contrived. It didn't feel real and authentic. So if they're like reading a script or whatever the case, it just didn't feel authentic to me. So I was like, we don't need a reunion. I just felt like to stick with the competition. We don't need the drama unless it's like real drama that was going on. And I just love, then I'll be cool with a reunion. But I just feel like the show was done. We can move on. I definitely love, and also shout out to the Boulets because the show has come a long way. I remember at one point, like they didn't get picked up on any of the networks. So shout out to Hey Queen, who took a chance on them. They were a little YouTube show when Vandervon Odd was the season 1 winner. And it was just like this little YouTube show. And then it went to Prime, and then it got picked up by Shudder. And I think Shudder is the perfect place for Dragula to be, because we just seen it become this little engine that could, and it just became this great thing. So look, I hope to get to a place where I could be like similar to the Boulets and have a show of my own that I get to create and put it out there, and it gets picked up, and then it becomes this big thing. So I just love how they went about their thing, because versus Drag Race, where Drag Race came in as, they spent years trying to get picked up until a little network called Logo came along and was like, you know what? We're trying to build this franchise. RuPaul is someone who is known within the queer circle. So let's give the show a chance on this little network. And it just blew up and became this global phenomenon that it is today. And now that Logo is just, a channel full of damn old reruns of shows, now we have the show is now on MTV. And now it's become this big thing that what it is. So I love the way that more of the approach of where the Boulets went. And now we're at a place now where you don't really need a network to launch a show. You can go to like streaming services are hungry for shows. Somebody give me some money so I can put a show together, a competition series. I got one about some strippers, male strippers. So let me know what you guys think. Did y'all see did you see the finale of Dragula? What were your overall thoughts? Do you think that Asia Consent was the right queen that the Boulets chose? I'm not mad at it. Like I said, if any of the 3 that was in the top would have been picked, I wouldn't be mad, because I like gray matter. I like Auntie Heroine, and I definitely loved damn, I forgot her damn name. Just that quick, Asia Consent. So I was like, this was a strong top three. So I'm not mad with who they chose. And so I'm looking forward to seeing more of Miss Asia out on the drag performer circuit. So especially because I think what may have caused her to win too, not only with her looks, is because the comment she made regarding trans women who do alternative drag, especially if you're a trans woman of color. And she even put that as the icing on the cake. And to be honest, I really wish there was a space that represented and celebrated alternative drag and not just being about being glamorous and wearing like old school gowns and breastplates and all that other stuff. That yeah, we should celebrate that. And you know what? There are places that do celebrate it. Brooklyn, New York. I mean, she's from the Midwest, so it's different out there. But in New York, we definitely celebrate all different aspects of drag. Not necessarily in Hell's Kitchen and all the other parts of Manhattan. But if you come to Brooklyn, sis, if you do $3 bill or any of those spots out in Brooklyn, trust and believe they will welcome you with open arms in the type of drag that you do. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.